Hey everyone, and welcome to your Week 7 U.S. History instructional launch. First things first, let's go over where we are with the Revolutionary America focus area. So we got a few new learners this past week. So Jaron and Jaden, please do not worry about finishing the Revolutionary America focus area. You do not have to do this one. You do need to work on the project though. So skip the focus area and work on the project if you are Jaron or Jaden. So 6 out of 13 of you have mastered the focus area. Last week we were at 6 out of 11, so that means that no one else even attempted. So Bill Belichick says, let's go. The American History Project gets a little even worse. So checkpoint 1 and 2 were due in September, and we still have less than half of the people who have even started those projects. Checkpoint 3 was due on the 3rd, which was last Tuesday, and 2 have started. And we're coming up on the end of the project. So checkpoint 4 and the final product are due on October 17th. So if you are somebody who has not started yet, it's very, very important that you get moving, because by this time it's going to be, about 10 days or so until you're expected to have this entire project. And again, the projects are worth 70% of your final grade. So even if you get 100% and master every focus area, every additional focus area, congratulations, that would give you a 30% in the course. So this is the bulk of it, and this is the most important part of the course. This is where we can see that you know the cognitive skills that are needed to do well in school and in life. So make sure you're starting to devote more time to these projects. So this is basically how I feel right now. Every time I check the data, I'm just like over it. So let's get a move on. Attendance. This lady from Star Trek, she's saying it correctly. Your attendance is not optional. This is school, okay? In the state of Pennsylvania, you are supposed to be working 5.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I can assure you that most of you are not doing that. And the cool thing about cyber is it's not necessarily expected that you do that, but you do actually have to do something. There are a lot of you in this class who are doing absolutely nothing on a weekly basis, and you're starting to get those letters, and it's just going to end up with more problems for you. So a reminder, in order to get perfect attendance each week, you need to complete the weekly instructional launches, which is what you are doing right now, and submit work on 5 days a week or end the week on pace. So what we mean by on pace is the pace chart that I have set out for you and outlined that is in the Google Classroom on the About page that we go over every single week. If you are not caught up with where you're supposed to be, or working 5 days a week to make effort to get on pace, we cannot give you attendance every day. So last week, only 4 members of this class were marked as present every day, meaning that 9 of you were at least absent for 1 day. So again, how can you show you're working? You can submit checkpoints for feedback. You can take diagnostic assessments. You can master content assessments and set goals. So the bottom page, again, is not what we are looking for. If you still have no goals and you are one of those people that is not yet submitting feedback or checkpoints for feedback or taking any assessments, we can't tell what you're doing. So more than likely, you're being marked absent a good bit because there's no proof that you're even working at all. So that is not what this should look like anymore. You want your goal page to be filled. Every day should have something. And then you want to go back in, and after you master that goal, check it off, turn it green. So if your goal page looks like this, you can be happy and dance like this lady. That's exactly what it should look like. So this week, we're going to go into a little bit more detail about checkpoint 2. If you need help with checkpoint 1, check out last week's instructional launch. So the week 6 video would help you with that one. Checkpoint 2 is about the Christopher Columbus paragraph. The whole point of the project is you're answering the question, what happened when Christopher Columbus sailed to the Americas in 1492? So the whole point of your paragraph is to answer that question. And in order to do that, you have to have a clear topic sentence that answers that question. So if you're just saying things like, Christopher Columbus was a pretty cool guy, that's not a very clear topic sentence. That does not answer the historical question. So you would be getting feedback to fix those issues. If you said that Christopher Columbus sailed and did not intend to find America, he was trying to sail to India, and he ended up stumbling upon America, that would actually be answering that question. But then not only that, you actually have to provide evidence. So your selection of evidence is important. You need to actually use the resources from the previous checkpoint, the Christopher Columbus sources, which would be those 2 letters and the poem, and go back in and find quotes and evidence to say what happened when Christopher Columbus sailed to America. So you're going to be scored on argumentative claim and selection of evidence. So just quickly, the argumentative claim, this is one of the resources provided to you. We're just going to real quickly go, because you can always go back and look on it your own. The argumentative claim is you're going to be developing a strong argument with your clear, well-connected claims in your writing. So, for example, this kid, the claim, I look like Batman, and then he has 3 subclaims. I have a Batman mask, I have Batman's cape, and I have Batman's belt. So his argumentative claim, his topic sentence would be, I look like Batman because I have Batman's hood, his cape, and his belt. So that would be the argumentative claim. So basically the claim needs to be specific. You can't just be very vague. You have to actually make it specific and debatable. It is not fact. It has to be something that people can provide an opinion on. So again, this needs to be your opinion of what you think happened. And then you're going into the source and you're going to find the evidence. So for example, to make a claim and say Tuesday is the day after Monday, that's not a very good topic sentence. It's specific, but it is not debatable. That's fact. Some people are victims of injustice. It's debatable, but it is not specific. You need what people? Injustice is when bad things happen to some people. So this one is not specific and it's also not debatable. But this one here, I look like Batman, is specific and it's debatable, because then he provides his subclaims to tell you exactly why he looks like Batman. So make sure you're going back in and using the resources provided to you to help you learn what argumentative claim is. And then also there's another resource in that same part, the selection of evidence. It's another one to help you figure out what it is that you're supposed to be finding in these sources. So just work real quickly. Make sure you're using your rubric again, because that actually tells you exactly what you need to do in order to get a good grade. So evidence is a historical fact from a secondary source you can trust. It can be a quote or a detail from a primary source, or something specific that you can cite. What evidence is not is something that's general or commonly known. So evidence is not Christopher Columbus founded America. That is not evidence. That is commonly known. Everybody knows that. The evidence is what is in those documents that tells you that. It can't be vague or imprecise, and it's not supposed to just be your own ideas or opinions or analysis. So that I know that you guys think you're experts in a lot, but unfortunately at this point in your life, you're not. You have to rely on historians and other experts in the field and use the primary sources to find your evidence. So make sure you're going back and using these resources whenever you're completing the checkpoint 2. Because you do need to have at least 2 quotes from those sources. So make sure the evidence is good. So for this coming week, from October 11th to October 17th, you should be completing the Revolutionary America focus area. This was due a long time ago. Again, the 2 that I said at the beginning, do not have to do that one because you started later in the year. If you completed the Revolutionary America focus area, I recommend starting the civic participation additional focus area. That is what will allow you to get the fullest possible grade of an A+. If you've mastered both of the focus areas above, you can move on to the U.S. Constitution focus area. So if you are I've had a couple of you attempting the U.S. Constitution focus area. I have been denying most of those, because if you have not mastered the Revolutionary America or the civic participation or started the project, I'm certainly not saying yes to those. So the project is the most important. It's 70% of the grade, so make sure you're starting that project. And lastly, school hack number 3, studying hard for 30 to 50 minutes at a time with 10-minute breaks in between is the most effective way to study. So what that means, studying hard does not mean that you're sitting there with Grey's Anatomy on in the background, checking your Facebook on your phone while you're flipping through. That means you've put away all distractions for 30 to 50 minutes, and then you stop. Then you can take your 10-minute break to watch TV or to change your Instagram or do whatever you want to do. So this is the best possible way to study and how you should be studying your playlist. Okay, if you guys need anything, send me a hangout, and I'm hoping that everybody gets to work this week.